Thank you to us in the West.
Oh my God.
Ron Boyd, James Sullivan, Marcus Parker, Coronado from Illinois. Here's Alberto.
Surf Run Channel week 9 of 16 is done. It's Sunday. Sunday long run is done. The whole week of running and working out is done. And it's now time to reflect on the week and talk about what's coming up next week. And I have somebody behind the camera today, part 2 of Rhayne interviewing me on the Surf Run Channel. So welcome, Rhayne, welcome back.
Hello.
Yeah, so go ahead, Rhayne, interview away.
You are week 9, right? You said?
Week 9 of 16 weeks, so I'm past the halfway mark. I'm getting into the meat and potatoes of it.
Okay. How was week 9 of training?
Week 9, if you were to ask me that question this morning, I would have thought, ooh, week 9 got a little away from me. But I was able to get that long run in today, which was really important for me. Typically I do my long runs on Saturday, but as you know, we went on a hike out in the desert yesterday, so did not get my long run in yesterday. Took a day off yesterday, which pushed I was attempting to do my long run on Friday, and I started out with all the gear and all the nutrition on me to go and try and get 20 miles in on a Friday late afternoon, and I couldn't go more than a couple miles before I realized there's no way I'm doing 20 miles today. I ended up doing a pretty brutal, tough speed work on Thursday night, and then I also did bear down Friday afternoon. So the combination of those two, trying to do 20 miles after that, my muscles weren't having it. So I didn't want to force 20 miles. I want to actually run 20 miles with the ability to put in a good 20 miles and not just suffer through it. So the week was okay. I ended up okay. Did my usual doubles. Did 5 miles on Tuesday afternoon and then 5 miles of hill training with the State Fit Temecula group on Tuesday. That worked out real well. That was tiring because I actually did run with some up-tempo on Tuesday afternoon, somewhere in that like 7-minute range, and then did 5 miles of hills on Tuesday. Wednesday, of course, no running on Wednesday. I did bear down Wednesday night, which is actually like a weight training. It's not performance, it's not HIIT, it's not endurance, it's more of a weightlifting class, which is not usually my speed, but it's kind of good to get in there. It's all upper body, by the way. This is the reason why I do it. I wouldn't have done it if we were doing legs, like deadlifts or squats. On Wednesdays, it is upper body, and this week was heavy for the day chest presses. So that was a good day. Then yeah, Thursday I was already mentioned. I did speed work. I did 4x1 mile repeats with a 1 mile warm up, 1 mile cool down. Tried to keep it at half marathon pace at around 6:30 a mile. Was able to do that, but I'm pretty tired. Felt it that day. Yeah. Then Friday came around and again attempted to do 20, didn't work out, so did 4 instead, which is fine because I needed to get that 4 in anyways. So that was more of just got kind of an easy run, I guess is what I made it. Then we did a 6 mile hike yesterday in the desert, so that was pretty cool. I'll put some video up on that. And then today went out there on this really nice day and did 2 by 10 mile loops and tried to keep it under 8 minutes per mile pace. And I think I averaged around maybe 7:50 total. So today's workout actually was a good one. You know, I fueled properly. I felt pretty good. I ran pretty consistent all the way through 20 miles. So far I've done 2 20-mile runs, which is exactly where I need to be. I feel pretty good about having gotten those 2 20-mile runs in, feeling not completely and totally wasted. Tired for sure, but nutritionally I was dialed in and I felt pretty good the whole way. And yeah, so this week's gonna be a good week.
What is training week 10 looking like so far?
Week 10. All right, so week 10, yeah, it's gonna be, week 10 is, these past 2 weeks I've gone 40 miles total. So I've done, you know, the 20-mile long run and then 20 miles of miscellaneous work. This week, my weekly volume goes from 40 to 50 miles. So I'm going to continue. I'm getting another 20-mile run in, maybe even 22 miles. In fact, I might actually go to 22 miles for my long run this week. But yeah, it's going to mean I'm probably going to have to run 5 days this week versus 4 days. So it's same old, same doubles on Tuesdays, same speed work on Thursdays, same long run on Saturday, same recovery run on, same long run on Saturday, recovery run on Sunday. So in order for me to get 50 though, I'm probably gonna have to run that Wednesday. So I'll do I'll have to do a run after Bear Down on Wednesday. So yeah, nothing changes in terms of what days I do what, but I need to get 10 extra miles in this week, so I gotta fit that in there somewhere. So yeah, that's next week, week 10 of 16. It's crazy. We're getting close. And I feel myself getting stronger. I can run further, faster, so I'm feeling good and I feel positive with the progress I'm making so far.
Do you predict your rest days or do you just go by what you're feeling?
I'm a pretty scheduled person when it comes to running, so I have Mondays always as a rest day. Nothing. I don't run, I don't do any strength and conditioning, nothing like that. Mondays is total day off, and that's actually the only rest day I take, because every other day during the week I'm either running or I'm doing cross training. So I'm pretty scheduled out with my rest days, but I do and will take rest days as needed, especially maybe at my age. It's kind of important to listen to the body, and if it's saying don't run 20 miles, just run 4, I'm going to do that, or don't run at all. If I feel a little bit of an injury or something like that, yeah, I'll take a rest day. I've pushed days around so far already in these first 9 weeks. There's been a few days where I've pushed my workouts around in the week based on like when I sprained my ankle or little niggles of pain. It's like I don't, you know, I'm not a professional athlete, so I want to be injury and pain free to the best of my ability and enjoy running that way. And I don't want to push through those types of injuries.
As we all know, the Boston Marathon is happening tomorrow. How do you feel about skipping that?
Skipping that. Yes, I skipped it this year, decided, nah, I don't need to make an appearance this year. No, actually this year I didn't once think about running Boston this year, but I kind of questioned that, why I didn't think about doing it, because it's 10 years since 2013. It's 1 decade since in 2013 you were there, I was there. We were all there enjoying a nice weekend in Boston. And unfortunately, as we all know, it was a very sad day. Monday, Patriots Day, the bombings that went off at the finish line, yeah, will forever have changed the sport of marathoning and our lives for sure, having been there. And yeah, Boston even before that has had a special place for me. It's my absolute favorite race. And I had run in 2011 for my first time, then ran 2013, and of course went back in 2014 to just go back and, you know, remember and memorialize and be a part of that experience. So yeah, I kind of, yeah, every year when Boston, I watch it on TV every year, and I always wish, gosh, I really want to be there. I just love Boston. I love the course. I love the energy of the town, the other runners. It's just one of my favorite cities and one of my favorite events. So of course I want to be there, and one day I will go back. And you know, in 2010 is when I first qualified for the Boston Marathon. It was my third marathon. My third marathon, I attempted to do a BQ, which means Boston Qualify, and that was actually because of my sister. She was like, hey, have you ever heard of the Boston Marathon? And you know, if you want to run, come to Phoenix and run the Rock and Roll Arizona Marathon. I hear it's a good BQ, and I didn't even know what a BQ was at the time. I'm like, I don't know. I've only done 2 marathons. So then I kind of looked up the Boston Marathon and did a little research on it and realized, yeah, that's definitely a race and a place I want to do and a place I want to go. Pretty competitive with myself, so it gave me just a bit more motivation to try and run that BQ, and I did by about a minute and a half. I think I ran a 3:13, and the BQ time was 3:15, so I got in by, I think, only less than 30 seconds, because I don't know if you know this, but the Boston Marathon does have qualifying times. That didn't happen this year, but pretty much every year prior to this year. I don't know why it didn't happen this year, but they let the fastest runners in first, right? And so even though, let's say my Boston qualifying time was 3:15, if I ran a 3:14.50, I still wouldn't get in, because they fill the race with the fastest runners first until it's full. And sometimes that means a 3:13.30 is what the actual true time is. There have been years, I think it's been as much as 7 minutes faster than the Boston qualifying time. So anyways, yeah, I'll be watching it on TV for sure. The weather is supposed to be kind of rainy and chilly there tomorrow. Not chilly, mid-50s. It's not chilly for Boston. But yeah, I hope one day you're there, Rhayne, maybe. And I hope Kalen is there one day. That's the goal. His qualifying time, that was crazy. It's probably like 3 hours and 5 minutes. I don't know if that's a pretty quick time. But yeah, I'm gonna miss Boston, love the city, and everybody running tomorrow, good luck. And Kipchoge, it's his first time running Boston. You don't know who Kipchoge is, but Eliud Kipchoge is the fastest marathoner in the world. He has a world record. He's never run Boston. He's finally running Boston tomorrow. So I'm really curious to see what someone with his speed can do on the hills of Boston. Whether they match or not. So it's definitely gonna be an exciting race. And then Des Linden is also back in Boston, and she won Boston in 2018 during that crazy storm. So she's one of my favorite marathoners. So I'm looking forward to seeing her and how she competes, especially with it being raining. Might be an advantage for her. But yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back in Boston for sure. So yeah, I miss it. Look at the dog.
Oh my God, no way. That is so cute.
Just found a little...
Nova.
All right, so I think that's a wrap up for this week, and week 10 starts tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. If you're digging the videos, like them, subscribe, and share them. And before we go, I want to turn the tables and ask Rhayne here a question. It's going to be a running related question.
Okay.
I'm curious to know if you think you would ever train and race again, or even just start running for the fun of it again. So why is that, and do you think you'll ever get back into the sport of running?
Honestly, I was thinking about it. I'm kind of leading into the whole surf part of the run, you know, surf part of surf run.
Yep.
I could see myself running later on in life. I want to be able to focus on, you know, strength and everything first before going into endurance. So I'm kind of just trying to build muscle before getting back into running, because I've always had issues with my knees and everything like that. So I got to strengthen them up beforehand.
Got
But
it.
yeah, definitely.
That's a cool answer. Yeah, you're right. That this is the Surf Run channel.
Yeah.
So yeah, that reminds me too, surfing. I'm gonna put some video here that just shows today's cam and just how flat the waves are and how flat it's been. And I've said this in previous weeks where it is springtime in California and the waves are just, this is what you expect. There's just no waves. Like I said, there's this North Pacific is not active anymore, and the South Pacific, you know, isn't delivering any south swells yet. So we're kind of in this weird time of year where there's just small waves, and the water, by the way, you were in the water this week. Did you put your toes in?
Yeah, I did.
Cold, right?
Yeah, it was freezing.
Yeah, it's freezing. The water is still in the mid 50s. So I've mentioned this, I really don't want to surf small waves in cold water, but if this continues for another couple of weeks, I'm just going to have to just go out and just take the longboard, I guess. But anyways, yeah, the fact that you want to go surf, I'm all for it. Let's go surf.
Yeah.
I think surfing is an awesome sport. It definitely does require a level of fitness, and it's just one of those things, I think a lot like running actually, where it's just very meditative and very like powerful. So yeah, let's get back in the water. You're gonna need a wetsuit though.
Yes, I'm getting a wetsuit tomorrow.
Are you really?
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, because probably at this rate, with the water still being 54, 55 degrees, it may not hit 65 for another month and a half maybe, which 65 is the absolute minimum that I would go without a wetsuit. In fact, I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of a wimp, so I probably wouldn't go until it's a minimum of 70. So, but you know, there are predictions. Actually, the prediction this year is that we're heading into either a moderate or potentially a strong El Nino,
Yes.
which that's going to push a lot of warm water up to us. Typically, then that would mean by August, September, there would be a lot of wave activity and much warmer water. So that's good for us. So it's crazy cold right now, but there could be this drastic swing in ocean temperatures. So I think July, August, and September, we're going to be out surfing a lot, especially as I start getting full swing into Ironman training, which does start in June. I'm going to have to get into the ocean. I'm going to have to do lots of, swimming, and I'll substitute most of that swimming for surfing. So, which benefits. I mean, I think it's the same. I don't know. It's not the exact same thing, of course, but it's still really good for you. Surfing is for Ironman training. It just makes me comfortable in those types of conditions, and still is that kind of swim kind of workout. So yeah, we'll be surfing a lot. That's cool, for sure. I don't expect you to be running. I get it.
I want to run Carlsbad next year.
Carlsbad next year would be kind of cool. Yeah, get into the 5K. Let's do that then.
Okay.
Next year, Carlsbad. That's a good idea.
You got me saying that on video. So
yeah. Now I'm going to register you right after we wrap this up, and you'll be committed. But if there's anything else between now and then, be it a 5K or a 10K, over the holidays or something, over like fall, winter, yeah, let's do it. Again, you don't have to, race it. You could just run it to have fun. All right, anything left to say?
Nope.
All right, cool. Surf Run out. See you next week. Thanks for watching.